Hello and welcome to another story time with Sky Fellowship. Video game story time with Sky Fellowship. I've just realised I might have kind of forgot to do that on a few vids. It's not the end of the world. Today's episode is essentially going to be entitled "Why Do People Play Roguelikes?" or Roguelites. I actually have a video where I said I want to start dropping the light and the like from things, so I might just actually entitle it "Why Do People Play Rogues?" And it genuinely, this is less of a story. It's more of a pondering thing. I've done a couple of these before, and I don't think that I actually have enough to be able to justify calling them something different. So instead, as it is just basically me waffling on, much like a story, then I'll put them up under that. And Hades 2, I don't think there's anywhere I could actually show it from this screen, but I played this game so fucking much when it came out. It was a brutal wait. I bought it day one on early access, but I was at the same time never ever going to actually play the game until it hit 1.0, because the first Hades was absolutely magnificent. It is one of my all-time favorite games, and in one of my all-time favorite franchises. Well, I guess actually there's two of them. There's a franchise, genres, I should say. I played the hell out of Ember Knights, which, if you've never heard of Ember Knights and you want a 4-player cooperative Hades-like that also has a really cool DLC campaign, and only one of you needs to actually own the DLC for you all to be able to play as the brand new weapons and slash classes, and also play through all of the DLC bosses and areas and that. Ember Knight is fucking phenomenal. It actually did some stuff before Hades 2 did it, and it's done some other stuff that I want the others to do. Like, if Hades 3 just so happens, even if it's only 2-player, which would be a bit of a downgrade, but even if it's like a 2-player co-op where one of you plays as Manelloe and the other plays as Zagreus, I'd be down for that. I really would. But Hades 2 finally dropped, finally 1.0. And to see it was an obsession was an understatement. I could not stop playing it. Absolutely loved it. It was I think, third in my Game of the Year 2025, basically behind Dispatch and Silksong. And I honestly thought it was going to be second, but then Dispatch was just, if you've never played that game, it's magnificent. But anyway, with Hades, second game, the thing that I said I don't know if I could actually show it, I actually got so obsessed with this, I managed to get every single Steam achievement. I didn't even know that with the first Hades. Now, partially, that's because I actually bought the first Hades on the Switch. And when you actually transfer your cloud save, which, please devs, please, I beg of you, more people need to do this. If Supergiant can do it, anyone can do it. Make your damn game have cross-save and ideally cross-buy, but like, capitalism's gonna capitalism, so they're never ever gonna let us just buy the game once and play it everywhere. But at least if we could have our save file, that would be nice. So when I transferred the save file of Hades over, I actually unlocked something like 25 of the 50 achievements on Steam. But some of them I'd kind of need to start a new file to be able to get because of the way that Hades works, and like, it auto completed some achievements but auto didn't complete others, so I never got around to doing it. But with Hades 2 I had to do it because I didn't want the game to end. I didn't want it to stop. I just had to keep going again and again and again and again. Like, I eventually got to the point where, and I know this probably isn't that flashy or impressive, and I actually genuinely can't even remember my actual time, so I'm going to quit just so that I can go into it, because I know I always say it. Oh, I forgot you have to undo the night first, and then it's the same thing, it's just slightly different. I know I say it a lot that my videos will never ever be showing off good gameplay footage because I'm too busy in the middle of trying to actually play these fucking games and talk about things to actually be able to play well. But as you can probably see from my stat sheet there, obviously the highest for your 32 and Swiftest Victory, they're separate files. The 24 one isn't. I know for a fact the 24 one wasn't. My Swiftest Victory was actually my highest fear of 24 on the other one. And I've been able... The 32, I think I was 12 and a half minutes. I'm like really, really good with the aspect of Morris. I'm decent with the other weapons, but there's something about the aspect of Morris, or Moros, or Morus. Like, I don't know how you pronounce it. There's something about that aspect. I'm like really good at this game with that one single thing. The rest of my times, and like highest figure clears, they're kind of paltry. It's why I'm showing them off now, because I don't want you to assume that like I'm just amazing with all of the stuff. I don't ever see any of this to brag or anything like that. It's just I put a lot of time into games, so I tend to get naturally good at them. But as you can see from the rest of my times and my highest clears, it really is this here, this one fucking aspect. I just got so good at it that it actually allowed me to go for, I guess if I was on a PlayStation, you'd call it Platinum. On Steam, it's just getting every achievement. And it's genuinely because I just kept playing and playing and playing. And speedrunning and speedrunning and speedrunning. And it's why today's episode, as much as there's a bunch of waffle, there is actually a point to all of this waffle. My game also appears to be freezing. I seriously don't understand what it is with OBS today. I've recorded a couple of videos and OBS just does not like certain games. But anyway, I got to the point where I just wanted to keep playing it. I was speedrunning it, and the whole point of the episode, the entire point of this whole thing, this whole waffle, this whole getting here, to finally get to the actual topic of why people play rogues. And from this specific point of view, my point of view of Hades 2, obviously the game's great, and that's why. And you may be sitting there thinking that it, like, if you are the kind of person who genuinely doesn't get this genre, that's what I'm trying to answer here, and it's kind of hard to explain, but I'm hoping I can eventually find the words, because I did have an actual plan for this. So I guess I should start with the beginning of, sometimes you have just genuinely had a stupidly hard day, and I don't know if you actually realise this, but playing video games is a pretty taxing thing mentally. At least specific video games, there truly are times when I want to play something, because I want to just shut off, zone out. I just want to be left alone and just kick some ass, to be honest, and just like forget about everything that's going on in daily life. But I'll have either just finished a game, or what I'm in the middle of playing might be too heavy or too like complex, or something that I know fine well. I'm enjoying it, but it's not what I need right here and right now. And some people call them loading games. And I do actually understand the term. You essentially put one up, like you put a game on, something that you know you can play with, like a quick addictive loop, that will allow you to then realise what you actually want to play on days like that, and they call them loading games. But loading games are obviously slightly different from actually rogue games, because in this case, I don't ever consider something like Hades 2 a loading game. I don't really put it on to just do a run. Now that I've finished the game, I'm kind of hoping that I'll eventually go back to it. I did need a break by the time I'd finished all of the achievements. I put a ridiculous amount of hours into this game, so I needed that little break. But it's so as much as it's not a loading game, roguelikes still have the same effect. And some days it really is just a case of, I want to put something on that I know is going to take me maybe 30-40 minutes for a run, although in my case, if I was doing the aspect of Moros, 12-15 minutes for a run, that I can just shut down, let autopilot take over, because I can play these games without really focusing or concentrating. Obviously, I need to be able to read the stuff and like pick my build and stuff like that, but when I'm in the flow of things, I do all of it just instinctively. I've got a show on in the background, or YouTube or something like that, and I'm usually focusing more on the show, so it's a case of take a quick look up, oh, yep, I want to get that, bam, move on, you know? And it's why I wanted to make this video, because I know there's a lot of people out there who are really pissed off that everything's a roguelike, everything's a roguelike, everything's a rogue, just over and over again. Why is it all this? Why is it all that? It's because, as an industry, I think we've realised that we do truly need games like this, and on top of the fact that it can automatically increase the longevity that you play a game, if I'd only ever done one run of each of these games and that was the game complete, if that was the credits rolled, I'd done one of the Underworld, one of the, what the fuck is the Above World? Why the hell can't I remember that? Either way, if I'd done one run of each and that was the credits rolled. On my first ever runs beating them, that was like 45 minutes. So you're talking like an hour and a half game. So I understand that some people out there might think that the game is stupidly short and like all it's doing is getting lengthened by some bullshit reasons. Again, I'm purely trying to talk to people who genuinely don't like rogues and don't get it. It's the sort of thing that you kind of do need to be able to play to get, and that's the thing that I personally don't get, that so many people have opinions on video games without playing them, not realising that more than any other genre, like, well, medium of just pretty much anything, you need to actually play it to fucking get it. I knew fine well from watching a trailer I wasn't going to enjoy Avatar. I was like, that film's just basically Ferngully. And I was forced to watch Avatar. I absolutely fucking hated it, because not surprisingly, I thought the 4-hour-long runtime, or whatever the fuck it was basically just a very overly long Ferngully. And the people I actually watched it with, the people who made me watch the game, watch the movie, were like, how the hell did you know from the trailer that was just going to be Ferngully? I was like, how did you not know? Because it's just so obvious, because trailers tell you too much. But with a game, even if a trailer tells you too much about a game, you need to still play the game to get the game. I didn't understand why people liked Minecraft. I just didn't. And I knew the reason that I didn't understand it is because I hadn't played it. Now, at the time, I didn't have any interest in playing it because when Minecraft came out, and I really am talking about when Minecraft like hit 1.0 on the Xbox 360, it didn't really have an end game. Didn't really have any point or purpose, so I knew I wasn't after a game like that at the time. By the time I finally got into Minecraft, I fully understood why people played it. I really liked it myself. I'm personally looking forward to Hytale hitting 1.0, because I think it might turn out to be a better Minecraft, and I know that is some strong words, but at the same time, Minecraft... Firstly, the guy who created it's like a Nazi or some shit like that, so fuck him. Secondly... Hytale has got so many things that people have wanted in Minecraft for the longest time that people would usually mod into Minecraft. And the best part is, for me personally with my arthritis, they're eventually going to make a controller support standard instead of doing a totally different version of Hytale where I wouldn't be able to play with any of my friends on mouse and keyboard. So yeah, back to roguelikes, rogues, back to the whole point of this video. If you don't understand, if you truly do not get why people play these, why if you're worried about the repetition or anything, if you don't get that, I can't promise you that the repetition won't get to you. I also would say that the safest way to do it would be to go for one of the true greats of this genre. Binding of Isaac, Hades 2. I would recommend Hades 2 over Hades 1 gameplay-wise, but story-wise, Hades 1's so much better in every way, shape, and form. That's the only thing I actually didn't like about this game. I truly did not like the narrative at all. I kind of guessed every major plot point coming. I liked a lot of the new characters. I like the actors, actresses, what have you. It's the music, everything like that. Just everything was better except the story. I just couldn't get invested in it. But if you truly do not get it, if you truly worry about the repetition, I would say pick one and play it, because I understand it might seem like it's stupidly repetitive. Not much changes. You get to the point where, I mean, I've put like hundreds of hours into the game at this point. I think I'd done 168 runs or something before I finally dropped the game. For 168 runs, you would think I would be so sick of fighting Headmistress Hecate. No, really not. Like, that wasn't... I didn't need a break from so much fatigue as I needed a break because other games had came out and I'd literally accomplished absolutely everything I could accomplish in this game. So rather than continuing to play it, I really should play something else. So, yeah. I know this has been a waffle one. Honestly, the entire day has been a waffle one. I've had a rough day. And probably not in the right headspace to record videos, but at the same time, when inspiration strikes, you know. So I always like to try to get them done while I've got the idea, because I literally had an idea before going to bed. And the phone is the enemy when you're trying to sleep. Everyone kind of knows this. You're not supposed to look at your phone. So I do make a point of trying not to look at my fucking phone. And I was adamant. I'm like, oh, this is a really good idea. I understand I might be about to go to sleep and everyone forgets things that they think of just before going to bed, but I don't want to go on my phone. I don't want to write it down. This is such a good idea, I'll remember it. Still haven't remembered it. It's been a fucking week. It's totally gone. Eventually it might come back to me. But yeah, so all of this waffle aside to say it, if you truly do not understand what it is about this fucking genre, play it. Play something in it. Because I also will say it, when Spelunky came out, is it Spelunky or is it Spelunker? One of the problem is there's multiple things. I think Spelunky was the roguelike. That was the first one that I'd heard of. And I truly didn't get it. Like, I was really young when it came out. I didn't get the idea why people would replay that. Even though I speedrun the crap out of Resident Evil, and I would speedrun the crap out of it, it sounded... The thing that got me, the thing that I didn't understand why people would play it is, progress is kind of why a lot of people play games. And I remember someone explaining to me, it's a game where you don't make any progress. Now, it turns out that was because it was... Rogue is an ancient game, it really is, but roguelikes, they'd only just started to really take off. So when someone explains to me that you don't make progress, it's because at the time they didn't understand how best to see it either. The way to look at a game like that, Hades 2 is the sort of game where you do actually make progress, by the way, I want to specify that, but Binding of Isaac is not. And Binding of Isaac was the first one that I really got into. And suddenly when I realised, I'm like, you know what, I really wish that the person who told me about Spelunky had actually told me about it in a better way, because I still haven't played that game. I mean, I've bought it, I've played it for like 20 minutes, but last year was a busy year for games, so it is on my list of games to finally start and play. Because had they actually told me that the progress is that your skills get better so that you're able to accomplish your goal of beating the game, I would have liked it a lot more. I would have got into the genre way earlier than I actually had done. Because that is actually something that I like doing. It's not always about progress for me. Progress is one of those things that's totally measured in a different way. I no longer cared that if I ever completed a run, because this was my assumption at the time, if I ever beat a run, I'm not going to get anything out of it other than beating the run. Well, yeah, that's the way all fucking games work. But it was explained to me in such a bad way that I didn't think about it like that at the time. So I really now regret that I never got onto the genre earlier. But at the same time, the fact that Binding of Isaac was my first one, what a first one. It is, oh my god, that is one of the best games of all time, it really is. I wish that was an easier game to recommend to people. I fully get why people cannot play that game. Firstly, there's the whole religion angle. Secondly, there's the whole fact that the game is just fucking gross and disgusting. Then there's the whole trauma angle, but it's perfect. It just is for me. So yeah, I think with all of this said and done, I'm finally at the end of this video. So I'm going to say, if there are any franchises out there, any genres, I keep mixing up that word today, any genres out there that you truly don't get, it doesn't have to be rogues, but if there's anything at all that you don't understand, if you've never played it, that's why you don't understand it. I can almost guarantee. More than any other medium, and I'm repeating myself, I know I am, you truly do need to experience a game to actually know if you like it. And that's why it really sucks that game prices have gone through the roof. Because it means that you're less likely to try something and go out of your way. And it's why, honestly, Steam is such a great store, because being able to turn around and play something for 2 hours and know fine well that I've got the safety of refunding if I don't like it. If by 2 hours I don't like a game, I'm never going to like it 20 hours in, you know? So it's just so nice to be able to essentially bypass demos, because demos rarely come out these days anyway. It used to... I remember when... To actually put a game on the Xbox Live Arcade, you had to have a demo. It was literally one of those things that Microsoft demanded it, and now people are like, well, hey, if we put demos out there and people don't like it, then that's going to affect our sales. So I'm really glad that Steam has this whole 2-hour refund window, because it allowed me to try a bunch of games that at the time I just didn't get. And now I'm like thousands hours deep into 10, 15, 20 games into that genre, you know? And roguelikes are definitely one of them. So yeah, until the next time, this has been Sky Fellowship, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.